Would you please sit? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As Chancellor of this distinguished university, it's my very great pleasure to welcome you to this morning's ceremony for the School of the Creative Arts. First, may I introduce the platform party and welcome particularly on my right Mr. Sebastian Conran, who will be receiving the honorary degree of a Doctor of Arts, and on my far right, Professor John Senior, Professor of Communication Networks and Pro-Vice Chancellor Research. On my immediate left, Mr. Chris McIntyre, Dean of Cultural Affairs and Director of UH Arts, and on my far left, Mrs. Judy Glasman, Head of the School of Creative Arts. I'd particularly like to welcome some of our special guests here this morning. Councillor Jeanette Taylor, Chairman of the East Hertfordshire District Council, Councillor Michael Clark, Deputy Mayor of the Hatfield Town Council, and Councillor Linda Clark. Michael Clark is a previous recipient of an Honorary Master of Laws from this university. We're also very pleased to welcome County Councillor Nigel Brooke, who is a member of the university's court, as well as Mr. Nigel Gates and Mr. Peter Sachs, who were also previous recipients of honorary awards from this university. Equally, Mr. Gabriel Newfield, we're very happy to welcome, who is a fellow of the university. More important, even than them, are all of you, our newly graduated students, their relations, their friends, and those who've supported them during their years of study. I shall return to the debt that we owe them, as well as the debt that perhaps they owe this university a little later on towards the end of this proceedings. So we will now proceed with the conferment of awards, and I have the greatest of pleasure in calling upon Ms. Glasman to read the citation for the conferment of the honorary award of Doctor of Arts on Mr. Sebastian Conran.
Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present for the award of Honorary Doctor of Arts Mr. Sebastian Conran. Sebastian Conran once said it was his life's ambition to promote excellence in design as a means of enhancing people's experience of life. Over the past 30 years, he has certainly delivered on this aspiration. Not only is he the name behind thousands of well-designed products that we love to own and use, but he devotes a huge amount of his time and energy to supporting the creative industries. In developing lifestyle products and major brands, Sebastian has worked with hundreds of leading names, both at home and abroad. His technical innovations and inventions have been involved in dozens of patents, and his work has won many design and marketing awards. Personal commercial success is only part of Sebastian's story. His distinctive collaborative approach to the creative process, working with clients rather than working for them, is a strong influence on the way that today's design consultancies conduct business. Sebastian is innately curious and enjoys pushing his boundaries. As a child, he wanted to be an inventor and was encouraged by his parents to make things. With a surname like his, a career in design was perhaps inevitable. He is the son of design entrepreneur Sir Terence Conran and author and journalist Shirley Conran. His brothers and sister are all successful creatives, straddling the worlds of fashion, art, food, and design. Sebastian's first step on the career ladder was studying industrial design engineering at Central St Martin's College in London. As a student, he was into punk and designed record sleeves, t-shirts and posters for The Clash. In the late 1970s, he joined corporate and brand identity consultants Wolf Ollins as a designer. But it was in 1981 when he moved to Mothercare as chief designer of the company's non-clothing merchandise that he began to make a serious name for himself. Here, he transformed the appearance and performance of childcare equipment such as baby feeders, furniture, toys and pushchairs. The results were highly acclaimed and much copied. In 1986, he set up his own product and brand development consultancy, Sebastian Conran Associates, later merging his studio with Conran and Partners before re-establishing it as an independent company in 2009. As the company's creative principal, Sebastian is closely involved in all design aspects of projects, which can range from clever cookware to luxury car interiors. He shares his wealth of experience and manufacturing expertise with his design team and says he gets a tremendous amount of satisfaction from designing beautiful and easy-to-use things that are not that expensive to produce. He also shares his knowledge and thinking more widely through his teaching and lecturing activities. He's a visiting professor at Central St Martin's, part of University of the Arts London, and is designer in residence at the University of Sheffield's Science Faculty. For some time now, our own School of Creative Arts has enjoyed the privilege of working with product, industrial and interior design specialists from Sebastian Conran Associates. Their involvement in reviewing our study programs and setting student project briefs is enormously helpful. Sebastian flies all over the world for his business, but despite his demanding professional life and commitments in the academic world, he finds time to write books and articles on design and actively supports a number of national design-related bodies and charities. He's a founding trustee of London's Design Museum, which champions creative thinking across design disciplines. He is also chairman of the advisory board at the Creative Industries Knowledge Transfer Network, a programme set up by the government to encourage innovation and share and stimulate knowledge. Other organisations he's lent his support to over the years include the Design Council, the Design Lobby Group, ACID, which is the anti-copying in design, which gives advice on intellectual property, and Design and Art Direction, D&AD, an educational charity promoting excellence in design and advertising through events and its annual awards programme. Sebastian also led the Home Office's Design and Technology Alliance, a think tank focused on combating crime through innovative design. For his contribution in his field, Sebastian has been awarded fellowships of the Royal Society of Arts, the Chartered Society of Designers, and the Institute of Packaging. Chancellor, in recognition of his outstanding work in the promotion and support of the creative industries and his inspiration to others, I'm delighted to present for the award of Honorary Doctor of Arts, Mr. Sebastian Conran.
Now, it gives me great pleasure to ask Dr. Conran to address us.
Well, thank you for that rather dazzling citation there. I must say, it goes to say that all good design is based on thorough research. It reminds me of when I was when I left school. I'd because I was a bit dyslexic, I'd done maths, physics, and chemistry because you didn't have to spell so well, and I couldn't get my head around grammar. And then when I went to art school, I was, because I had done maths, I was treasurer of the student union, and I was sitting in the union office one day. And these couple of rather stylish guys came in and said they had a band that they needed their first gig, and would I give it to them? And as it was, we needed a support act for Brentford and the Nylons on that Thursday. So I said, yeah, absolutely ideal. And by the way, what's the name of the band? And they said, oh, the Sex Pistols. So you could say in some ways that I studied industrial design engineering, but graduated in rock and roll. Some say that when education finishes, the real learning begins. Therefore, you need to explore life, not wander through it. So here are a few of my thoughts on design and creativity. A world without any design and art would be utter chaos. The better the design, the better our experience of life. These days, good design is not enough. It needs to be outstanding to win. And I see that, as Judy said earlier, enhancing the experience of life is the key objective of art and design. Humour, disruption and compromise, lateral thinking, these are key British traits. So realism versus dogmatism, realpolitik versus idealism, it's no wonder that we're good at design, because it is the intersection between the arts and the sciences. We must remember when we're designing that all consumers are human and need some playful pragmatism in design. But this needs to be witty, not jokey. It is the job of the designer to harness science and take raw technology as an uncooked meal and prepare it so it is an appetizing dish for the consumer. One of the principal things we do as designers is creating value. Value is the engine of trade. Without a perception of value, there is no trade. And I define value as brand plus design plus quality divided by cost. And we must remember that there's an emotional as well as a rational aspect to design. Often it's curiosity that drives creativity. Creativity is a product of imagination and wisdom. Sadly, however, with age, while imagination often dwindles a little, but that you've still got the experience to work on. Another thing is, nothing designed by man cannot be bettered. One of the reasons why we need more female designers. But, when you think you've achieved something, just think, how can I make it better? When you think you've finished a job, just revisit it the next day or the next morning. Think, how can I improve it? But remember that over-design is the enemy of outstanding design. You need to find yourself mentors and avoid tormentors. Never, ever expect to get full agreement from everyone, especially on intangible issues. You have to believe in yourself. You will only get the impossible done by reaching for the ridiculous. Life is not a rehearsal, and act as if every minute is precious to you. So may you all leave the world a better place, and remember, on your way, to stay curious. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Dr. Conran, very much indeed. We shall now receive the graduates of the School of the Creative Arts. As you know, candidates are presented by a senior member of the academic staff from their faculty. And I therefore first call upon Dr. Grace Lees Maffei.
Faculty of Science, Technology and Creative Arts, Doctor of Philosophy. Barbara K. Brownie has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a programme of work entitled The Behaviours of Fluid Character Forms in Temporal Typography. Chancellor, Dr. Barbara K. Brownie.
School of Creative Arts, Bachelor of Arts degree in Fashion, Lauren Rose Agricole. Rebecca Branco Smith. With first-class honours and recipient of the Karen Millen Award and recipient of the Ted Baker Award, Elizabeth Clark. With first-class honours and recipient of the Maria Grashvogel Award, Emma Jane Daly. Taja De Silva. Chloe Demetriou. Abigail Louise Foster. Recipient of the Bowden Award, Louisa Nicole Harris. Lucy Claire James. Elise Kadri. Donnie Karagoz. Adina Khalid. Melinda Jane Knudsen. Emily Jane McShane. Kieran Mistry. Louise Francesca Morris. Sylvia Wanjiru Njuguna. Shante Franca Odeni. Dina Piven. Giovanna Pulley. Michaela Louise Skinner. Lauren Rain Sutherland. Hannah Michelle Wright. Chun Yong. Monica Skoda. Bachelor of Arts degree in Fashion with Marketing, Isabel Gluck. Namisha Kamdar. Munefe Kara. Catherine Elizabeth Lynch. With first class honours, Casey Hannah Peasnell. Marianne Ruth Silva. Recipient of the BizOps Award, Charlotte Kelly Walker. Sabina Yasmin. Bachelor of Arts degree in Graphic Design. With first class honours, Yulia Agisheva. Leanne Charlotte Bertarelli. With first class honours, Francesca Louise Brookman. With first class honours, Stephanie Bushell. Hayley Lauren Butchart. With first class honours and recipient of the Young Creatives Network Award, Laura Jean Cairns. With first class honours and recipient of the Design and Art Direction Student Award and recipient of the Young Creatives Network Award, Patrick Edward Carey. Chan Yok Wan. With first class honours and recipient of the Young Creatives Network Award, Joseph Lyon Cheney. Andonis Charalambus Avram. Kieran Chown. With first class honours and recipient of the Young Creatives Network Award, Alex William Dempsey. Zhao Dong. Jamie James Richard Dunmill. Aaron James Durham. Adriana Fennick. Lucy Rebecca Galley. Sukhvir Singh Gill. With first class honours, Trina Jurdy. Maria Gvozdeva. With first class honours, Natalie Maria Augustina Halliwell Jennings. With first class honours, Miranda Joan Hebert. Lu Chi Hang. Suana Momtaz Khan. With first class honours, Joshua Peter Clark Kirby. Win Loon Locke. Yanchan Liu. With first class honours and recipient of the Design and Art Direction Student Award, Kirsten McCartney. Ing Zi Kyung. Ryan John Payne. Genevieve Olamide Pelham. With first class honours, Sabrina Pennywis. Diane Perry. Scott Anthony Powell. Catherine Sophie Rainbow. Aaron Otis Remy. Charles James Ringe. Adam David Robertson. Jasmeet Rupra. With first class honours and winner of a university prize and recipient of the Design and Art Direction Award and recipient of the New Designers Virgin Atlantic Award for Graphic Design and the Design Group Student of the Year, Tyler Samuel Scott. Seneva Storley. Daniel Thorne. Tatiana Udalova. Paris Suzanne Van Loo. Lam Kang Wa. Hansini Wiramanthri. Bachelor of Arts degree in Graphic Design with Marketing. Rachel Natasha Barnes. Alan Asukwo Enyang. Jonathan Xiao Yi Jun. Bachelor of Arts degree in Illustration. Catherine Waller Bowitz. Jacob Allen Brew. Michael John Carson. Kelvin Christopher Chumbit. With first class honours, Alan Clarkson. Flora Cox. Maria Margaret Dimitriou. Lois Siobhan Fitzgerald. Janice Fridrisons. With first class honours, Annalyn Hogstad Fergurness. James Ioannidis. Erdi Liu. Annette Osang. AJ Panchal. With first class honours, Emily Ruth Sear. Ashton Springer. Olga Timofeeva. Hugh David James Wilson. Rebecca Louise Wilson. Bachelor of Arts degree in Illustration and Marketing, Joelle Avellino. Bachelor of Arts degree in Interior Architecture and Design, Nadia Rose Al-Chalabi. Ang Chia Zi. Thomas Bristow. Dora Barbara Brosh. With first class honours, Wang Hon Chu. Danielle Desetage. Trevor Peter D'Souza. Recipient of the BizOps Award, Sharondeep Kaur Dami. Rupinder Singh Flora. Emily Louise Harper. Sayede Tina Hashemi Olia. Michelle Humphreys. Tracy Ann James Fisher. Liam Yu Lin. Daria Lukovka. Lucy Marriott. Alice Malloy. With first class honours, Su An Ong. Kripali Patel. Tisha Leanne Roman. Tan Chin Chin. With first class honours, Tessa Ang Jia Yi. Kylie Thomas. Yo Jing Jing. With first class honours, Su Jan Yeong. Bachelor of Arts degree in Product Design, Dervish Ali. Samantha Faye Borrell. Ross Hewitt. Gita Ivleva. James Loveridge. Daniel Richard Oldfield. Rachel Peat. Mario Sergios Stavrinou. Mehmet Turka. Bachelor of Arts degree in Product Design with Marketing, Owen Hennessy. Ross Glenn Reeves. Bachelor of Science degree in Industrial Design, Kuljit Singh Balra. Sally Bessim. Anish Levine Chown. Fahim Chowdhury. Alexander Robert Cummings. Tarang Naresh Govindia. Callum Douglas Lamb. Othniel Funam Matashi. Fatir Mia. Junior Olipekan. Michael Benjamin Salmon. Cindy Tong. Bachelor of Science degree in Industrial Design with Marketing, Fahd Mohammed Al-Qatari. Mahanad Alamari. Recipient of the BizOps Award, Daniel Martin Willey.
Bachelor of Arts degree in Music and Entertainment Industry Management, Helen Elizabeth Bosefield. Matthew William Brinkworth. Rebecca Mary Collins. With first-class honours, Christine Elizabeth Cullen. With first-class honours, Jaila Elise Cupit. Joseph John Gaynor. Aidan Glennon. Yunfei Huang. Ashley Chidibe Izunwa. With first-class honours, Aisha Oluwakam A.J. Johnson. Matthew John Sanderson Jubb. With first-class honours, Alexandra Katie Keeg Davis. With first-class honours, Alexander Paul Kelly. Douglas Roderick Kerr. Sasha Krishnan. Charlene Adrienne Lebrun. Natasha Elizabeth Majlath. Ethan James Mackenzie. Vladimir Nita. Keen Pierce Shaw. With first-class honours, Philip Michael Sinkinson. With first-class honours and winner of a university prize, Mark David Stemp. Matthew Robert Stokes. With first-class honours, Daniel James Traynor. Adil Karim Virani. Charlotte Louise J. Wilson. Shunom Mervin Yusuf. Bachelor of Science degree in Music, Commercial Composition and Technology, Francesco Cassino. Matthew John Liverpool Chivers. Jonathan David Craig. With first class honours, Christopher Wilson Datson. Oliver Scott Denyer. Jason Green. Christopher Robert Hart. With first class honours, Marcus Anthony Hedges. With first class honours, Christopher Matthew Hodges. Paul Jason Housden. Joel Anthony Laws. Stuart Joseph McCardle. With first class honours, Robbie Graham McDermott. Minesh Suresh Nanda. Nicola Nessie. Philip Andrew Pulling. Jared Paul Real. David Saunders. Daniel John Story. Samuel William Wigmore. Paul Robert Willocks. Sorry. Paul Robert Willocks. Bachelor of Science degree in Music, Composition and Technology, with first class honours, Rhys Kieran Crisp. Aaron James Hester. Thomas David Scott. Christopher John Stevens. Bachelor of Science degree in Music Technology, Bryony Caitlin Arnold. Rui Assis. Simon Bacon. Todd Batiuk. Joshua Robin Butler. With first class honours, Max Carter. Arpinder Singh Chana. Tommy Clark Montagnon. Thomas Uist Collins. With first class honours, Tanya Eloise Cooper. Matthew Allen Davey. With first class honours, Felix Evan Duro. Oladimeji Adeleke Esan. Thomas Edward Good. Lee Nathaniel Hinkoa. Stephen James Keeley. Thomas Napton. With first class honours, Oliver Thomas Littlefair. Ruaid McPhee. Victoria Mary Mills. Carl Ashley Mohammed. Wesley Kane Mohammed. John Betaslil Chesabangu Moya. With first class honours, Thomas Charles Saunter. Ross Edward Steer. Kyan Suleiman. Sean James Sweeney. Robert Edward Tolson. Martin Joseph Warren. Luke Neil Wildig. Bachelor of Science degree in Sound Design Technology, with first class honours, Callum Edward Joseph Bryce Stevens. With first class honours, Tristan James Bruce. Alexander Charles Gall. With first class honours, Alistair Francis Glynn. Bethany Hannah Hamilton. With first class honours, David Charles Peter Jenkins. With first class honours, Christopher Alfie Painter. With first class honours, Dominic Andrew Joseph Pipe. Thomas Robert Stowe. Niall Richard Sullivan. Bryce Charnel Besong Tihati. Alexander Thomas Wright.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the presentation of awards, and it gives me great pleasure now to call upon Tyler Scott to address us on behalf of the graduates.
Chancellor, Dr. Conran, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot tell you what an honor it is to be speaking here today. If you had told me 3 years ago that I would be asked to talk on behalf of the graduates of the University of Hertfordshire School of Creative Arts, I probably would have asked you, where's Hertfordshire? This is because 3 years ago, I had just completed my national diploma in graphic design in Cape Town, South Africa, and had not had the opportunity to see the world. This all changed when I was afforded the chance to come here on an exchange program, which marked the beginning of the biggest journey that I had embarked on in my entire life, and one that I will forever be grateful for. For me, this journey began with a physical one. But the real journey was the one that we have all been on since arriving at university. Ernest Hemingway once said, "It is good to have an end to journey towards, but it is the journey that matters in the end." For most of us, today is the day that we have been journeying towards. But it is everything that we have learned and all the people that we have met while here that is truly important. Our journey is the one from the freshers we once were to where we sit now, confident in our abilities and the knowledge that we have acquired over the past years, ready to step into the real world as the working professionals that we have become. Each one of us will have our own accounts of this journey, but I'm sure that we can agree that the path has had its obstacles and there has never been a straightforward route to getting here. This is the case with any journey worth undertaking, because it is the way in which we learn and the reason that we can hold our heads high for overcoming the challenges to be here today. In my case, I would say that there were times when I felt completely lost, and if not for the amazing companions that embarked on this adventure with me, I don't think that I would have ever made it to where I am now. I'm talking about the friends that we have made while studying here, the people that were always there with words of encouragement on those late nights in the LRC, when it seemed like the only sustenance that we had for days came from the vending machines on the lower ground level, and we couldn't remember why we were there. They were there to encourage us. Not all times were tough, though. Students at the school have a history of winning great honors, and our friends were there to celebrate those with us as well. perhaps on occasion a little too hard, in which case they were always there to remind us what we got up to the night before as well. No journey would be possible without decent guides, seasoned experts to provide us with the lay of the land. Luckily, we were never short of these, and the staff were always there to help us, and on some occasions drag us towards our destination. This, I'm sure, was no easy task at the best of times, but yet somehow they kept the faith in us, knowing that we would get there eventually. For this, I cannot thank them enough. It is important to remember that while our journey at the university has drawn to an end, the people and experiences that we have had will stay with us, guiding us in the new journeys that we are about to undertake. Before we embark on this journey, I would like to take the time to thank the Chancellor for receiving us, the graduates of the School of Creative Arts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scott, for what you said. I would like to add my congratulations to all of you who have graduated today with such distinction, and to congratulate equally your families and your friends for putting up with you for 3 years. It is, I know, always a family team effort for successful graduates. So many thanks and congratulations to you. And of course also to the faculty behind me, which was so elegantly thanked by Tyler Scott a moment ago. A couple of other things, if I may, I'd like to add before we break up. The university that you have attended over the last few years, and some of you will continue to attend, is a great and growing institution. Its reputation is increasing all the time. It is particularly strong in many of the disciplines which are becoming increasingly important in this complicated and interconnected world of ours. And many of you will be working, particularly from this faculty, in those particular areas. Many of you will remain in this country. Many of you will go abroad to work or will return home to work. It is very important from the point of view of your careers, and indeed the future of the world we live in, that the friendships which Mr. Scott so eloquently talked about should be built on so that our connections can flourish. Not only will this make the professions which we pursue more stimulating, more creative in the way that Dr. Conran has so brilliantly explained to us this afternoon, but also it will ensure that the sort of conflicts which are so threatening to our planet and which so often seem to spin out of control can become less likely as we communicate increasingly together and work together. So I hope that the networks of friendships and the professionalism which Mr. Tyler Scott also referred to will be a bedrock of your lives as they develop and your careers flourish. I hope, too, that you won't forget us at this institution. We have attempted to provide you with a launch pad for your future lives. But we will also depend on you, our alumni, for the future. Just as we hope that we've helped you today, I hope that you will be able to help us in the future, because this university is not only a university consisting of its faculty and its graduates and its students, but also of its alumni all over the world, and its strength will increasingly be drawn from all of you. So don't forget us, come back, and come back with your advice and your support. It only remains for me to say the very best of luck to all of you in your future lives. We look forward to seeing you again often. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we break up, perhaps I also ought to remind you, perhaps on a more pedestrian note, that refreshments await you in the Alban Arena, and I hope you enjoy what I equally am confident will be one of the most memorable days of your lives. I would only ask you to stand while the academic procession leaves the Abbey.